with me, Andrew, bringing the greatest book of all straight to you, the Holy Bible. I have to tell you, we are in a great time tonight. I am actually so happy to be bringing this live to you. And welcome to all the new fans and subscribers, if I have any. I haven't really looked to see if I had anyone new. You might wonder what this is around my neck. Well, it's fans, because like I said, I'm doing this live out of the garage of my house, and it is kind of stuffy out here. So if you see me moving them around and stuff, that's the reason why. I'm just trying to stay a little cool. Alright, so did anybody do their homework? Did anybody look up any verses? Did anybody have any time to look up scripture? Anything? I didn't really give any homework, but I did quite a bit myself. I actually did quite a bit of homework. And I tell you, there's a lot. There is actually quite a bit of homework that I did. And I'm going to try to cover it all for you in the past chapter that we did. And yes, you saw right. On this live, it is titled two different chapters. I am actually going to cover two chapters tonight. I'm going to be doing chapter 5, which, where would I be if I didn't cover chapter 5 and just skipped right ahead to chapter 6? It would make everybody completely lost. You would not understand a word that I'm trying to tell you. Let me get a little bit closer up here. So, like I said, I am going to cover two chapters tonight, so my video is going to be a lot longer than what it normally will be. But, you know, the thing is, if you think about it, what exactly is time? Especially whenever you're studying the greatest book of all. Did you know, or do you know how the world began? How God created it by hand? From the mighty mountains to the raging seas, to every single creature and beast that you see on the earth? Well, it's in the Holy Book. All you got to do is just open it up and take a look. It's a story for young and old. The greatest story ever told. The greatest story ever told. The beginning, the future, the present, whatever you want to know, it's in the book. One way or another. If you're feeling upset, read the Bible. If you're feeling good, read the Bible. Every time you have a feeling and you really need it, it's always there. It always will be there. It will always be the truth. It will always tell you which path you should take. If you're ever lost, just turn to the Bible. It'll tell you exactly what you need to know. So, open up your Bibles and take a look with me and travel back to the past where all this takes place. Take a moment, if you will. Close your eyes, as long as you're not driving. I will tell you that. If you're driving, do not close your eyes. Just open your mind as you're driving, but stay focused, okay? But I want you to think about something, all right? Think about how in the very first chapter, we learned that God created the heavens and the earth. God created all the plants, all the vegetables, all the trees, everything that we see, God created. You may think that it just happened. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, it didn't. It didn't just happen. That Big Bang Theory that everyone tells you about, It's a lie. The Big Bang that I believe in is God speaking everything into place. That's the Big Bang for you. There it is, right there. The Big Bang was God's voice. God was here before the earth was even thought of, even created. He created all of it. He spoke the constellations into place. He spoke the trees in place. He spoke everything into place. Just by his almightiness, his power, everything took place. And then we learned about Adam and Eve and what ended up happening to them. They had everything in that beautiful garden, everything that you could have thought of to eat. And what happened? Serpent, Satan. Satan came in, and that's when sin was introduced. Sin was introduced because of Satan. Satan caused Adam and Eve to do wrong, to go behind God's back and eat from the tree that they were commanded not to. Then we heard that upon them doing that, now we have sin in the world. Now the world's getting corrupt as we see it. Sin did all that. Sin took a world that was supposed to be 100% pure, 100% clean. And you know what happened? Look around you. That's what happened. Everyone's sinning. Separated us from God. And then, the last chapter that we studied, that was whenever jealousy came into play. Everyone knows that story. If you watched my video from last week, Cain and Abel. Cain murdered his brother Abel because he was jealous of him. So here's a little follow-up on what we learned. So we learned that Cain killed his brother Abel because of jealousy. God respected Abel because he gave his firstborn of his flock to God. He did this in honor of an offering of thanks to God. Like I told you in my last video, God wants the best of everything. Give him the best of everything, you're golden. He's going to respect you. You give him the best of everything because he deserves the best of everything, because of everything that he has done. Cain, however, did the opposite. However, when Cain killed Abel, there was a price. You remember when I told you about that? Every choice that you make in life always comes with a price. You may think that it may not come with a price. You may think that you're scot and free, 100% free. No, nothing's going to happen to you. You got it scot free. No charge. There's always a price. We learned about what a vagabond. I told you guys that if you wanted to, you could actually look that up and try to figure out what that meant. But I'm going to give you a little bit of what I found out that it meant. A vagabond is a person who wanders from place to place without a home or a job. So basically, in today's terms, if you really want to know, the way I look at it is a vagabond today would actually be someone that is completely homeless, that lives on the streets, that begs for money, and has no place to call home. Some people would call it a nomad. Some people would just call it a bum. But honestly, why would you call them anything that is hurtful like that? And then we learned a word that was called sevenfold. But as okay, but as anyone killing him would mean murder, therefore the vengeance would be sevenfold. That is complete, or yeah, that is complete, seven being the number of perfection of or perfection. Others, however, consider that Cain's life was under a religious safeguard, seven being the sacred number of creation. So we learned what that is. So whenever it says that it was sevenfold in the chapter, he may have killed his brother, and that means murder. But some people would actually say that that would be he was under a safeguard, basically. So when it said the Lord set a mark on Cain, it was said that it was protection for him, that if anyone should kill him for killing Abel, if anyone should kill him, a sevenfold vengeance would be against anyone. And then, of course, Lamech, we learned about this also, that Lamech uh, declares to his wives that he has killed a man and younger man, asserting that he should be avenged 77 times of Cain, who killed his brother, was to be avenged 7 times or 7 times. The passage, okay, so whenever it comes down to it, whenever Lamech says that he killed and he should be avenged 77 times, he is also taking in consideration of the 7 times that Cain was avenged for killing his brother. But the passage illustrates the escalation of violence and corruption in Cain's line. So basically, anybody that is in Cain's line basically became very corrupt and very violent just because of that one thing. And what a lot of people will say is, think about a pond. Think about you're at a beautiful pond, the wind is still, there's no ripples, no waves, no nothing. What happens whenever you throw a stone in that pond? Waves start going. It's a ripple effect. That's what happens. You mess up one time in your life, it can always come back and bite you in the rear, one way or another. Pure and simple. Karma, as everyone knows it, will always come back to haunt you one way or another. So avenge, we actually learned avenge, inflict harm in return for an injury or wrong done to oneself or another. So there you have it on that. So we know what avenge sevenfold is in the Bible terms. And yes, I know I've heard the band Avenged Sevenfold. I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about the Bible and literature in the book. So we know exactly what ended up happening on Cain's side of the family tree, because once he was violent and killed his brother, corruption and violence followed him wherever he went. His kids, his kids' kids, on down the line. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these chapters tonight. And I will do my best to go as slow as I can and to try to help you understand it. Because, let me tell you, this chapter is a little rough to understand. I mean, even I have trouble understanding it too. That's why I leave my comments 100% open. So feel free to comment me on whatever you take out of these messages. I would be glad to hear from you. So this one is actually titled The Family of Adam. So we're going to learn the whole entire genealogy and family of Adam. After Adam comes everybody else. So let's fasten our seatbelts and let's take a dive into the greatest book of all and learn some more, shall we? Actually, before we do, give me 1 minute. I'm going to go get me a drink of water real fast. Pardon me. Okay, there we go. Got me a little bit of water so we can take this trip. Go ahead, grab you a water, grab you a soda, whatever you like. Cheers. Oh. Right. All right, so the family of Adam, and this is how it begins. This is a book of the genealogy of Adam. In the day that God created man. And we know that God created man, he created woman. How wonderful is that? He made him in the likeness of God. He created them male and female. And blessed them and called them mankind in the day they were created. Now, when we get to the age of a lot of these, don't be surprised, because people lived a lot longer back then. Want to know why? Well, here's the reason why. I want you to think back, way back, when the earth was created. Okay? Broaden your mind. Think of the beautiful place. 100% pure. Are you opening your mind? If you can, close your eyes and try to paint that picture. If you can't close your eyes because you're busy doing something, open your mind. Open your mind. As open as you can get it. Listen to the sound of my voice. I'm going to tell you something very important. The whole entire world, God has spoken everything into place. You're in the beautiful Garden of Eden. You see the garden, you see the trees, you hear the birds, you see the squirrels, you see the fox. Oh, shh. There's a deer. There's a deer, there's a buck, there's a doe. But what's that? What's that little one? You see their kid? Yeah. I see it all. Think about it. And along comes Adam, mankind. Adam comes, says, hello. Eve comes up. Hi. You just met Adam and Eve. You're seeing it before the sin even comes in. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice how clean the air is. Oh, nightfall. You look up, you see all the stars. You see the moon bright, shining like a diamond. The stars flickering. They're shining like diamonds. You see it? Are you following me? There's no cars, no trains, no pollution. So wonderful. Right? It's amazing, isn't it? Well, think about that as I continue reading, okay? Like I said, God created Adam and Eve, and they were called mankind. In the day that they were created, and Adam lived 130 years. 130 years. And begot a son in his own likeness, after his image, and named him Seth. After he begot Seth, the days of Adam were 800 years, and he had sons and daughters. So all the days that Adam lived were 930 years. And then he died. Okay. Now, as you're thinking about all that, and you're seeing all that, Adam lived that long. You took a walk with Adam in your thoughts. I know I did for a little bit. And I just witnessed a man live for, what was it? 930 years before he died? Now, isn't that amazing? He lived 930 years before he died. I can't even wrap my head around being alive that long these days. You know why they lived that long back in that day? Think about it. You were there in your mind. You opened your mind. You saw it all. There was, say it with me, there was no pollution in the air. We look around today and look at all the pesticides, all the poisons that they use in our fruits and vegetables, and everything that comes out of our sky, all the pollution. No wonder none of us live to be 900 years old anymore. But I can tell you someone that did. But it was in Bible times when everything was pure, the way that it was supposed to be, before sin came in and corrupted it all. Now, let's learn about Seth, shall we? Seth actually lived 105 years and begot Enosh. After he begot Enosh, Seth lived 807 years. And he had sons and daughters. So all the days of Seth were 912 years. And then he passed on. Enosh lived 90 years and begot Canaan. After he begot Canaan, Enosh lived 815 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enosh were 905 years. And he died. Canaan lived 77 years and begot Mahalalel. I think that's how you pronounce that name. I'm not really sure. After he begot Mahalalel, Canaan lived 840 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. Mahalalel lived 65 years and begot Jared. After he begot Jared, Mahalalel lived 830 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Mahalalel were 895 years. And then what happened? And he died. Jared lived 162 years and begot Enoch. After he begot Enoch, Jared lived 800 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Jared were 962 years. And he died. Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. After he begot Methuselah, Enoch walked with God 300 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God and was not, for God took him. So basically, what I understand of that was Enoch really didn't pass on as early as the time went, because he walked with God. The others, I believe they did walk with God, but I think Enoch actually probably ended up knowing God a little bit later down the line and not as soon as the others did. That's why the others lived as long as they did and passed on. Enoch, he was not ready for yet. And that's the wonderful thing about Christ. Christ will take the people that he is ready for, but he may not be ready for you yet. You might have had some close calls where you've almost passed on, but why were you spared? You might be wondering. If you should have died, and you know that you probably should have, and whatever happened to you, but you're still alive today, give thanks to God. He spared you because he is not done with you to do his purpose in life. Alright, so Methuselah lived 187 years and begot Lamech. And we heard about Lamech. After he begot Lamech, Methuselah lived 782 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Methuselah were 969 years. And then he died. And like I said, he did finally pass on. But he didn't pass on that fast because God still had stuff that he wanted them to do. So Lamech lived 182 years and had a son and called his name Noah. Noah. That is a fascinating book, and we're about to learn about Noah here in a few minutes after we get done with this. And I am so ready to tell you the story about Noah. Like I said, Lamech lived 182 years and had a son and called his name Noah, saying, "This one will comfort us concerning our work and the toil of our hands, because of the ground which the Lord has cursed." Now remember, the reason why the land was cursed, the Lord cursed it because of sin coming into play. The land wasn't supposed to be cursed. The land was supposed to be whole and pure and beautiful. One slip and it's gone. So after he begot Noah, Lamech lived 595 years and had sons and daughters. So all the days of Lamech were 777 years, and he died. Now think about that, because there's that magical number that is used a lot in the book. 77, or 777. A lot of people will look at that as a spiritual number, which I'm all for it. I'm 100% saying yes, because of how many times that is actually said in the book, in the Bible. 777 is his number, God. Now, there is a number that is going to come very, very soon to a world near you, and you better be ready for it. This is why I'm bringing these Bible studies to you. I'm trying to prepare you for what's going on out there and what's about to come that you are not going to want to be any part of. I don't want to see you left behind. I really do not. I want you to be going to heaven with me to see the Lord God that created everything and made everything beautiful in its time. 666. We're going to learn about that further down the road. You don't want to be any part of that number at all. So as we continue, and Noah was 500 years old, and Noah begot Shem, Ham, and Japheth. You may think that a lot of these names are really funny in the book, because some of them are really hard to pronounce. But they all have meaning behind them. Now we're going to get into one of the most fascinating stories. Another fascinating story, I should say. Because chapter 1, oh man, that was so fascinating, wasn't it? Just hearing that one voice of God created the whole universe, the whole world. Have you ever heard this song? There's actually 2 songs I am actually going to do tonight. I told you, you might actually hear me sing in some of these. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. But when God puts a song in your heart, you can't help but to share it. This one, you might actually remember from whenever you were a kid. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me, brother. In his hands, he's got you and me, brother. In his hands, he's got you and me, brother. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me, sister. In his hands, he's got you and me, sister. In his hands, he's got you and me, sister. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody here. In his hands he's got everybody here. In his hands he's got everybody here. In his hands he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the wind and the rain. In his hands he's got the wind and the rain. In his hands he's got the wind and the rain. In his hands he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the sun and the moon. In his hands he's got the sun and the moon. In his hands he's got the sun and the moon. In his hands he's got the whole world in his hands. 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 That's right. He does. So, I am actually going to spare you on this next song because we're not quite ready for it yet. But I will tell you that the next video will have me singing. So let's get into this next chapter, shall we? Chapter number 6 of Genesis. And this one is titled, and I shared the link on the title up above. It is actually the wickedness and judgment of man. Uh-oh. There's that word, wickedness and judgment. No one told me that we were going to be judged. Uh-oh. I better straighten up right now. Oh crap. Judgment? Judgment by who? Oh no. Oh no. Oh. Judgment. Judgment of God. We better figure out what happened. Now, it came to pass when man began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them. And the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and they were beautiful. And they took wives for themselves. For whom they chose. Now, some people are going to look at that and think that that means that girls were with girls. No, that is not it. There was no gayness. There was none of that. What it means is God is saying that he saw everybody. Like I said in that last song, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. Well, the thing is, when you read it, it sounds like that. But really, he is saying that all mankind was beautiful. You were beautiful. You were beautiful. Your sons are great. Your daughters are great. It was going according to his plan. He thought everything was going according to plan. Whole population was growing. And the Lord said, you better buckle up because the Lord's talking now. It's good stuff whenever that happens. Highlight this passage if you really want to. My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh. Yet his days shall be 112 years. There were giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Now think about it. There were giants back then. We see somebody, okay, I am roughly about 5'7". All right? I'm not very tall. I'll just flat out admit that. I've probably shrunk a bit because of my age, and also because of when I went through my chemo and everything. But think about it. You may go out, and if you're the same height as me or shorter, you might see somebody that is 6'8", 6'9". Yeah, to you, they may look like a giant. No, these days, they're talking about giants that are taller than houses, taller than trees, taller than mountains. They were huge. That's what they're talking about. So, like I said, there was giants on the earth in those days, and also afterward. Then the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old women of renown. Now, I'm going to do some looking up and actually figure out 100% what a lot of this stuff means whenever I read it. Because there's some things that I'm not fully understanding, and I don't really know how to break it down for you to understand it a little bit more. So bear with me, and in my next video next week, I will definitely cover a little bit more in depth. Then the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil. Continually, or evil continually. So God was looking into all of mankind's hearts. Like I said, he has the whole world in his hands. He has everybody here. He knows what you're thinking. He knows what you're doing. He knows exactly everything about you before you do it. He knows that your heart is evil. Everybody's heart is evil. That's why you need Jesus Christ, and to accept Jesus Christ as the Lord and Savior to cleanse your heart 100%. But in these days, as we're reading, God saw how evil everyone's gotten. So the Lord saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And the Lord was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. So the Lord said, here we go. Here comes the judgment of what's going to happen to everybody that has evilness in their heart in that day. God didn't want everyone to be evil. He wanted everyone to be created like him, to be like him, righteous, 100% pure, with no evil thoughts and no evil heart. Sin corrupted all that. So the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What does... Huh? What? He said he was sorry? Sorry for making mankind? Was it really that bad? Close your eyes. As long as you're not driving. Open your mind. Listen to my voice. Come with me as we take a sneak peek. Think. Is your mind open? Have you opened it? Can you paint the picture? You're in the middle of that. Back in Noah's time. You're back in Noah's time. You see everybody? What do you see? I see cussing. I just saw someone get robbed. What? That guy's daughter? What? She got what? She got raped last night? One night stand? What? Wicked? What? And you kiss your mother with that mouth? Really? I don't believe it. No way. No way. God was sorry that he created mankind because of all that wickedness. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Now here's a Christ connection for you real quick. Like I said, I know this video is going to be longer than my other ones, but you know, when you're studying the Lord Jesus Christ, what is time anyway? Honestly, I'd rather take as much time as I possibly need and can to share it with you. So, Christ connection, we're going to learn about what it's talking about here in the next few chapters. But this is kind of giving you a look ahead of what's to come. So Noah and the ark. Genesis 6 verse 5 to 9:17. The story of the flood shows us how serious God is about sin. He will not leave sin unpunished. But the story of Noah also shows us how God how loving God is. He provided a rescue plan for one righteous man, Noah. The rescue was extended to Noah's family. This story points ahead to the greater rescue. Jesus, the one perfectly righteous person, came to take the punishment for sin. We trust his act of obedience and are saved from punishment our sin deserves. Now you think about that as we're covering all this. You, my friend, and also me, we all deserve to go to hell. Yeah, I said it. You deserve to go to hell. But you know what? If you're a Christian like me and you ask Christ into your heart and ask for that forgiveness, he paid your debt to get to heaven. He paid that price for you and me. He paid that price so we can be up in heaven on the new earth with mansions and gold, everything to our heart's desire or our mind desire. I'm looking forward to that day, and I hope you are too. So let's continue and hear about Noah, all right? Noah pleases God. This is the title of this one. This is the genealogy of Noah. So here we go. We're going to learn about Noah and his family. All right? Now, before I start and tell you the genealogy of Noah, two kinds of people. All right? You've got two kinds of people in this life right now. You're alive during Noah's time. All right? You're alive during Noah's time. Yeah, you're off having a good time, living it up, partying it up, whatever. Not pleasing God, not a care in the world. One person starts buying all this equipment to buy an ark, to build an ark. As we're going to later figure out what an ark is and what he builds, I want you to think about that, which side of the fence you want to be on. You want to be on Noah's side as his family? Or do you want to be with the other side that seems like they're having all the fun in the world, but with a huge price on their head? Price of glory over here. Price of non-glory and scary things that are about to come. Which side do you choose? Noah pleases God. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was just a man. There was not really anything special about Noah at all. Noah was just a man, perfect in his generations. So like I said, he was pleasing to God. He knew God. He worshiped God. He knew who God was. And Noah walked with God. Of course he did. It said that he was perfect in his generation. He wanted to do good in his generation and not doom his generation like everything in the past happened. He wanted to change the ripple. He wanted to change the future. And a lot of people want to do that these days. You may be in a type of family that is a non-believer, party all the time, get drunk, get high, get stoned, get whatever. You might be all part of that, but it only takes one time. Your son, your daughter, yourself, your uncle, your aunt, your whole family tree might be full of crackheads, meth heads, drunks, you name it. It takes one person to cause a rift to change everything. Just because they're doing it doesn't mean that you have to follow in the same path. You can always go your own path. There's nothing holding you to that other path. The only thing that's holding you to the other path is yourself and sin. So as we learn about Noah, the genealogy of Noah, like I said in the book, it says that he was just a man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with God, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, S-H-E-M, Shem, Ham, H-A-M, and Japheth, J-A-P-H-E-T-H, Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. Wow, that kind of sounds like what's happening today, doesn't it? You hear about all the violence that's going on today. They always say that past has a tendency to repeat itself. Oh no. Let's try to find out what else happens. The earth was corrupt before God, and the earth was filled with violence. So God looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. Here's the big picture, all right? You remember when I said that there's a choice. There's a choice of a path of where you can go. The path over here that has a price on your head that you probably do not want, or the price of glory and righteousness and happiness. That way is going to lead to death. This way is going to lead for light and happiness and joy. Everything else. Which side are you going to take? Well, let's learn a little bit. Big words. Pitch. There is one thing that you're going to learn and hear. P-I-T-C-H. Pitch. And it's not pitch like you think, like throwing a baseball or anything like that. Pitch is a dark colored mixture used for waterproofing boats. Noah covered the ark with pitch to make it waterproof. Jochebed, which is spelled Jochebed, which Jochebed, Moses' mother. Moses is someone that we're going to meet later down the road, but it's actually referring to what Moses' mother did for Moses when Moses was sent away. And like I said, in further books, we're going to learn about Moses' story. But Moses' mother coated the basket she made for him with pitch in Genesis 6:14 and also seen in Exodus 2:3. Like I said, right now we're focusing on Noah's story, but then later we're actually going to learn about Moses. And that's a good story as well. So, you've got two different paths. You've got one path where there's not a care in the world that's probably going to get you killed real quick. Or you can go with this guy that you just saw buy a whole bunch of lumber and pitch and everything else. I'm having a thought. I'm having a thought again. My goodness. I feel like I'm in Noah's time. There's a huge party going on over there. What's this guy up to? I don't really know what he's doing. He's got a lot of wood. A lot of pitch? Must be building a boat or something, but heck, I don't know why he'd be building a boat. There ain't nothing going on. Let's try to follow him and see if we can figure out what's going on, shall we? The ark prepared. And God said to Noah, oh, the big man's talking. Let's tune in and listen. The end of flesh has come before me. The earth is filled with violence through them, and behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits. Okay. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing flood waters on the earth, to destroy from under heaven all flesh, in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh, you shall bring two of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you, and shall be male and female, of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creepy thing of the earth after its kind. Two of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. And you shall take for yourself all of food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and it shall be food for you and for them. Thus Noah did according to all that God commanded him, so he did. Now think about that for a little bit. That's a lot to take in. I know, it is. I will do the research, unless you want to, and comment on my video. Tell me how big that ark was. My goodness. Noah? Are you sure? Are you sure that you heard God right? Is he really going to flood the whole entire earth and kill all flesh? Man, I better get right with God real quick. If God is capable of doing that, what about all these other people? All those other people are laughing at the guy that's got the gopher wood, that's got the pitch, that's building this big ark out in the middle of his land. He's making an ark. Are you going to be the one that laughs at him? Or are you going to be the one that joins him? I hope you be the one that joins him, because I sure as heck would love to join him for that. I don't want to be left behind. I love you guys. I really do. If any of these videos touch you in ways that I hope that they do, please message me. Take the time to share these videos with everybody out there. That's why I make them. I make them so everybody has a chance. Everybody has a chance to go home to our Creator. That's all the time that I got for tonight. I want to give a shout out to a couple people tonight. One of them is actually, I hope my brother doesn't get mad at me for this, but I want to give a shout out to my little brother, Timothy. He turned 23 today. Today is his birthday. I also want to put out a prayer request to everybody. Everybody needs prayer. Alright? I'm not going to pray on this video, but I want you to know the invitation is always open. Come out to our church that I attend to, New Hope Baptist Church. If you want to know the address, feel free to message me. I will gladly give you the information on how to get to our church. I also want to tell you that quilters, if you know anything about quilting, Thursday mornings at New Hope Baptist Church. I'll give you the directions. Like I said, I'll give you the address. They meet, they have fellowship, they eat, they make quilts. They actually make the quilts for Grand Oaks Missionary in Springfield that actually helps give quilts to the homeless, the people that actually need them. Started back in 2001, I believe it was. And they do some really amazing work. They do. I've seen a bunch of those quilts, and if you come to church with me, you will definitely see the quilts that they've made. They're wonderful. They're beautiful. You can even buy one yourself if you want. So, without further ado, I just want to say thank you to all my people that watch these videos. Thank you so much for all the support and love that you give to me. Be sure to like, subscribe, never miss one of my videos. I love to talk to you. I love to spread the wonderful good news of Jesus Christ to you wherever you are, in your car, at your home, at your apartment, wherever. So, without that, just want to tell you I love you, God bless, good night, and I will see you in my next video next week, next Sunday at 6 p.m. or a little after. Sorry it was a little after today. I got a little tied up on doing some other things and had a little bit of technical difficulties, but one way or another, I still came out to you. So, love you guys. See you next time.